Savita Bhabhi is not just a single woman who's having many affairs, but she is this toon character, and she has all kinds of lovers because her husband is workaholic, is away most of the time, so she has lots of time, you know, in her hands, and she has, you know, the house, so she's, you know, constantly finding lovers, whether it's in the lingerie salesperson or the neighborhood boys or the terrorists or the boss. So, you know, she finds lovers everywhere, and she's having sex, and she's not repentant, and she gets away with it. Nobody is able to find her. So in some ways she's leading the perfect life, you know, for many people, you know.
Tell us a bit about yourself.
जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, my name is Savita. Although most people know me as Savita Bhabhi. People ask me if I'm a model or a Bollywood heroine. But yaar, I'm just your everyday Indian Bhabhi. Ask any Indian teenage boy who he lusts after.
But why are you a comic or a porn too? Why not just a real Indian bhabhi?
इतने वीडियो हैं ऑनलाइन, इतना स्कैंडल, इतना MMS. This is different, यार. पहले I was just doing what I wanted to do. But then I realized what an opportunity this was to educate Indian men about sex.
Banning of Savita Bhabhi was a reaction to really how popular it had become. I'm not sure, I mean, if it had remained in, you know, the wild jungle that is the internet, it may not have been, you know, singled out to be banned. I think it was read as a cultural kind of a cultural treachery to really use Savita Bhabhi as a symbol for dissatisfied Indian female sexuality.
Did you expect to become such a phenomenon?
मुझे लगता है कुछ ज़्यादा ही stardom हो गया. I'm showing what is already happening ना. What is wrong with that? अगर यहाँ कोई औरत किसी मर्द से पूछे मुंह में लूँ क्या, तो क्या बोलेगा वो? सब बहुत decent बनते हैं.
Obscenity has been primarily a kind of a right-wing concern, and it has to do with, you know, sexual propriety or sexual transgression. So, you know, a woman moving away from conventional norms, whether in her clothes or in appearance or in behavior, is considered to be obscene. When feminists call something obscene, and the Hindu right also calls that obscene, then you know, feminists have to stop and think and say, what exactly is it that we find objectionable? And most of the time you will find that the objection, deep down, the objection is actually a moral one. And as feminists, I don't think we should be concerned with morality at all.
Is it only about nudity and, you know, the representation of women sexually that is offensive to women, or is it also portraying women as servile, as passive, as you know, as servile objects for men? So I think that that's a significant contribution that the Indian women's movement has made, kind of really reformulating the debate around obscenity.
I constantly hear the lament from people that you hear, you know, you only see you know, fair and lovely bodies and slim bodies on television, and which is true. I think that's a real problem, because a certain kind of body then becomes a socially desirable body. And what I do find interesting about pornography is that actually that's the only genre that shows you the sexually desirable body. And I think it also confronts you with this idea that the body that you find sexually desirable may not be the body that you find sexually desirable. So the conflict between the two, because we are constantly taught to conflate love and sex, and perhaps they're different.
At least in my life, and I think would represent a lot of young people, was a collective activity, unlike what you would think. Like a private activity of reading porn or looking at porn, it always used to be a collective activity for various reasons. It's not like the desire was to watch it collectively. The desire was to pretend that you're alone when you're watching with 10 people, but for various reasons of access, of technology, of various things, apart from porn, the printed porn, everything else was collective activity, and soft porn is also collective activity. I think what the internet did was to actually take it away from this collective activity kind of a phenomenon into a private activity, the possibility. So the internet cafes and so on, that kind of a thing, that you can actually be in a public space, actually go but you will have a kind of a cubicle which is closed and you can look at porn. There's no way in which you can actually like kind of stop the production of a pornographic text in consumption, because it's the way I navigate the internet that I produce a text for me. It is not like there is, like Savita Babi, I might from there go to some other site, from there I might go to something else, from video I might go to story, from whole kinds of things I could do. That cannot be stopped, and this is the anxiety there. And again, it is not and the pornographer is not the problem. The person who makes pornography is not the problem. Here, the consumer suddenly gets a certain kind of power. It's a kind of an empowered kind of a consumer of pornography, and that is the anxiety.